Tropical cyclone Fina continues to approach the Northern Territory top-end coastline ahead of the anticipated coastal crossing and significant weather impacts it's expected to bring through the rest of the day on Friday and throughout the course of the weekend. I'm Angus here at the Bureau of Meteorology. This is a severe weather update about Tropical cyclone Fina, and the current time is just about 11:30 a.m. on Friday, the 21st of November. That is Northern Territory time. Here's a look at satellite imagery across the country, and of course the tropical cyclone is in the north, so that's where we will ground ourselves. And this loop here shows the last 12 hours or so of satellite imagery, and we can actually see a few different pulses as the cloud comes up and then subsides. It rises and falls, and that's been the story over the past 12 to 24 hours. We haven't seen consistent thunderstorms around the tropical cyclone, and in fact we did see a little bit of a weakening to the system late last night. Thursday evening we went from a Category 2 tropical cyclone to a Category 1 tropical cyclone, and that is where Tropical Cyclone Fina is currently rated. It is very close to the Northern Territory coast, which means we can actually see the bands of rain on our radar network wrapping around the centre here. Notice how they're wrapping into a central point somewhere up here. That is the middle of the tropical cyclone. These bands of rain have already brought over 200 millimetres of wet weather to parts of this exposed coastline, and in the coming hours that rain is only going to get more extensive and impact new areas. Since we can see on this radar here exactly where the centre of the tropical cyclone is, we can place it on our map here, and we'll now start to look at the forecast track. This is where this is likely to move in the coming hours and the coming days. It's likely to follow a southwestward trajectory, and it is likely to strengthen again from a Category 1 to a Category 2 tropical cyclone before the end of the day on Friday. At that point, Saturday becomes our key day, because this Category 2 tropical cyclone is going to cross the tip of the Coburg Peninsula and move southwestwards through the Van Diemen Gulf, past the Tiwi Islands, get somewhere very near Darwin around about 10 p.m. on Saturday evening, and then through Saturday night and into Sunday continue to move southwestwards into the Gulf here between Northern Territory and Western Australia. This is our tropical cyclone warning and watch area. We can zoom in a little bit closer to see exactly which areas are covered in the tropical cyclone warning. Let's start with the warning. That's the orange one. That's the most important one. That is where we could see the damaging wind gusts develop within the next 24 hours. For some of these northern places, that is going to be within the next 6 hours or so, as the winds are already ramping up there. The warning area does include Darwin in the middle here. It also goes down to Dundee Beach and Batchelor, and then it moves across to somewhere east of Warrawee, including Gunbalanya. The watch area is a little bit further to the south, and that includes the Daly River mouth down to Wad Air. Do notice how this is likely to be a Category 2 as it passes Darwin, and may strengthen into a Category 3 following that as it approaches northern parts of WA. So this is the track. How might that look in terms of the weather we expect this track to bring? Well, the two key words are windy and wet. Those winds are really going to race around that Category 2 tropical cyclone, including as it approaches and moves past Darwin. Wind gusts of over 100 kilometres an hour are expected across large parts of the top end, and exposed coastal areas could see gusts up to 150 kilometres an hour. Likewise, there will be extensive, heavy, persistent rainfall across parts of the north and west of the Northern Territory, once again including that Darwin area. Many regions could see 200 to 300 millimetres of rain, and some spots could even see more than that. That is likely to lead to significant flooding. This is paused at 10 o'clock on Saturday evening, right when the system is closest to Darwin. If we keep playing the loop into Sunday, we'll see it move away from Darwin, but it does start to move towards the Kimberley in northern WA. This is where we see the potential for some re-intensification up to a Category 3 as it moves through the warm waters of the Joseph Bonaparte Gulf here between the two states. Heavy rainfall is going to happen across the territory. The top numbers are well and truly towards the top of our scale, 300 millimetres or more around parts of Darwin, around parts of the exposed coast. Remember, we've already seen 200 millimetres, so we know some of these numbers are going to come through. Damage from wind remains one of the key impacts with any tropical cyclone, given the nature and strength of those winds. That could mean trees down, that could mean power outages, damage to cars, damage to houses, and difficult driving conditions. So do try and minimise travel when you can over the coming days. Heavy rain can lead to flash flooding, and it can lead to the rivers flooding across northern and western parts of the top end, and expect very dangerous conditions on the coast with rough seas, large waves, and elevated tidal levels for anyone who is on or near the ocean. Forecasts and warnings are being updated every 3 hours at the moment, so do always double check you've got the latest information and the latest warnings available on the Bureau's website and app, and of course listen to and follow all advice from your local emergency services. Thanks for watching.